had to just kind of like back up for a minute and just kind of go into some deep prayer and meditation so that I would be in a position to give hope.
Welcome to Hope Goes Live. I'm your host, Kim Betty, and the show is brought to you by Hope for Women magazine. And I am too blessed to be stressed today because I have the awesome powerhouse, Dr. Portia Lockett. And Portia is the Director of Community Affairs and Spiritual Care for hospitals in Detroit, Michigan. And Portia is going to share with us how she uses her purpose, her gifts to give hope in the midst of COVID-19. She has seen it all, heard it all, and yet she is able to remain hopeful. Welcome, Portia.
Good morning, Kim, my beautiful sister. Thank you so much for having me on your show. Congratulations on such an amazing platform that you're using to touch so many lives and transform so many lives and meet people right where they are. So I salute you, my sister.
Let's start here, Portia. I'm so fascinated by something that you shared with me, that you have known that you were called since you were 7 years old. Take us back to second grade when you learned to hear the voice of God. Let's start there.
Yeah, basically, some people know their purpose, but they don't find it early on in life. And I found mine early in life. I was literally sitting in my my second grade classroom, and I heard this voice saying, "Teach." And I'm just like looking around, I'm thinking somebody's talking, but we were on a quiet assignment at that particular time. So when I heard it again, I actually went up to her desk and I said, "Did you say something to me?" And she goes, "No." I said, "Okay." So I sat back down, and then I heard it again, and I went back up to her desk, and I said, Miss Jones, I said, "I think I heard something." And she says, "Well, what?" I keep hearing this voice say, "Teach." She said, "Baby, that's just the Holy Spirit telling you you're supposed to be a teacher." So of course I taught with the Detroit Public School Systems, for a number of years, and then I transitioned into radio advertising. As I began to evolve in teaching others in the radio industry, God began to pull me and say, "I have some additional things I want you to do. I want you to go back to school. I want you to get some additional certifications in professional development." Because what I discovered, there were so many people that were underdeveloped, even in their personal lives as well as in their professional lives. So that just gave me a whole different avenue. And so I began to go into corporate America, start doing training with UAW Chrysler and General Motors, and so other companies within the automotive industry. And so that just took me to another level of then doing business and teaching with Detroit Area of Aging and just so many other corporations.
And you also support a group called I Am That Woman.
Yeah, so I Am That Woman movement the founder is Twyla Jenkins, and she is just a powerhouse, a phenomenal woman. But it's pulling together resources of women from all over the country to be able to move and to have uplifting individuals. She had a conference just this past October, and Mickey Taylor was there, Regina Bell was there, Linda Johnson Rice from Ebony Jet, was there. Also, Tina Lifford, was there from Queen Sugar. And just to be on the stage, and I'm just like, oh my God, God is putting me in a platform to be able to be with these phenomenal women. I'm also involved with Speakers Magazine with Pam Perry, and she just reaches out to, speakers all over the world. So that has given me a platform to be able to go out and speak and to be featured in different magazines and talk with other women about, having hope, and men, of course. I told my kids, I said, you know what, when it's my time to go, I said, I want to make sure that I've utilized every gift that God has given me, because he gives us multiple gifts. The more you use your gifts, the more he can entrust you to give you more gifts, okay? To speak, if I'm supposed to write poetry, whatever it is the gift is, if I'm just supposed to sit and hold someone's hand and lend an ear or pray for someone, so forth and so on, I want to make sure that I'm using every gift that God has given me, because I don't want to leave any untapped gifts. So, if I'm supposed to sing, see if I have time, is it okay if I give you a little bit of bar of it?
Please.
Yeah, so, and Jabez called on God of Israel, asking him to bless me indeed, and expand my territory, and keep your hands upon me, and to keep me from evil. And God granted him his request. Bless, 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 bless me indeed. He'll bless you, he'll bless me, he'll keep us free from evil. Oh, bless, bless.
You know, and you talk about finding your purpose and the blessing that it is when you find it early in life. It just dawned on me, though, your book that you have, she's a best-selling author as well, Delayed But Not Denied. So that just gave me that peace. Okay, I might not discover my purpose at 7. I might be delayed, but I'm not denied. So tell us the essence of your philosophy around delayed but not denied, because I also believe that's what's going on during this COVID-19 stay at home. We're being delayed, you know, so share with us that.
Absolutely. So when you think about a delay, you know, sometimes we pray and we ask God for various things throughout life. And sometimes we anticipate and we expect for him to do it like right now. I need this right now. And he's basically telling us, you know, wait a minute, I'm going to give you the desires of your heart, but it may be a little delay in getting it because I'm preparing you for something. And that's what my sole purpose is right now, is to encourage and to inspire others as they're even going through this COVID-19. Is we've got to have hope. We may be facing a little bit of fear. I mean, that's natural. We're all humans. But at the end of the day, in Jeremiah 29:11, he says, I have plans for you to prosper. Wow. I have plans for you to prosper, not be stuck and stagnant, but for you to prosper.
Mm-hmm. What is a chaplain, and how do you use your unique gifts as a chaplain? Then let's get to what you're seeing today in the hospitals and things. So
Sure. Well, a chaplain is basically an individual that is there to give you spiritual support, mental support, and emotional hope. Support in those 3 areas: spiritual, mental, and emotional. Because, you know, when you come into the hospital, you know, it may be a physical condition, but while you're there, it's going to take on a emotional piece. It's going to take on a mental piece, or what's your mindset like. And then also, if you have a spiritual connection, we're there just to give you that hope through the spirit, regardless of what your religion is. We don't go in trying to put religion. We're there just to pull out and assist you on your spiritual journey as you are going through the process of being well and whole. And so one of the things that I typically do is when I go into a room, you know, to see a patient, you know, I would just say, hi, I'm Chaplain Portia Lockett, and I'm just stopping by to give you a blessing, an extra dose of God's love. Do you want some? And most of the time people would say yes, you know, so tell me a little bit about what you do. And so whatever it is that they desire, and sure enough, I share with them the number of things, you know, I can offer prayer, I can offer a song, I can offer some reading materials, I can offer an ear just to be able to listen. If you need some support in some other avenues that you're experiencing right now, we provide that as well, just to be a support and a shoulder just to lean on and to cry on if you need, and sometimes just to hold that person in my arms and just say, you know what, it's going to be okay, we're going to get through this.
When you talk about this assignment that you're on right now, for such a time as this, I can feel it, Portia. Do you also support the staff at the hospitals and things like that too? Do you have interactions with them?
Absolutely. You know, I intentionally walk through the units every single day, and I will walk up to a nurse and I'll just say, how are you today? How are your emotions today? How's your spirit today? You know, as you're going in and out of the rooms of caring for your patients, I want to know how you are. I know the patients are going to be fine because we're all doing our part to be able to care for them. The doctors are going in, the residents, the nurses, the PCAs, you know, environmental service, all those people are going in to care for that individual. But nurse, doctor, resident, how are you?
Yeah.
And who it is, you know, I may see someone environmental services, you know, because they're the ones who are cleaning up the rooms, you know, after the patients are being transferred or sometimes even transitioned. And they need somebody to hold them up too, because it's not the norm of every day going into a room and cleaning it after someone who has had COVID-19.
And I'm going to tell you, my reality check with COVID-19 was my hometown, Detroit. I was sharing with Portia that, of course, I'm from Detroit. I lived in New York for 5 years, and now I'm in Southern California. But it wasn't until I got on Facebook, and my own survey, if you will, Portia, is about 1 in 5 of my Facebook friends on my news feed was either having themselves or their family members were severely impacted with the
Yes.
symptoms, or someone that they knew personally was dying or was dead. And when I counted it, I would literally go down my feed and I would go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. It was like the average was 1 in 5. And that was my reality check and my wake up call. And it was interesting because the numbers in Michigan were mirroring the numbers in California, but I mean, they're a fraction of the size. And so what I see for let's say Michigan is close to last time I looked at the numbers, they were at 48,000 in Michigan impacted, over 4,500 deaths. And in the Metro Detroit area alone in Wayne County, close to 10,000 cases and over 1,200 deaths. And as a chaplain who supports several hospitals in the Detroit area, take us back to, you know, the beginning around March when this hit in Detroit, and what was your thought around your role in this?
Well, I knew immediately that my role as a chaplain was going to go to another level, was going to evolve into something that I never even imagined that it would. And so it was very obvious that people who never had faith were trying to find a little bit of faith. People who never had hope were trying to find a little bit of hope. My phone began to ring off the hook. Did you hear about this person? Did you hear about that person? You know, somebody had, as you said before, had either contracted the virus or passed away from the disease, you know, from the virus. And so I was just like, wow, this is really real. So they were looking to me even more. So, chaplain, what is your take on this? What do you think is going to happen? You know what? And, you know, and I had to just kind of like back up for a minute and just kind of go into some deep prayer and meditation so that I would be in a position to give hope, because I'm human too. And I had a little fear that was running through, you know, my body. And, you know, I would have these, false symptoms and just, okay, am I breathing okay? Okay, is my head hurting? You know, it's just, you just start going through the symptom list and saying, okay, am I experiencing this myself? And I had to say, okay, Portia, stop. Just stop. Because you can't continue in this mode if you are here in a position to be able to give others hope as well. It's not going away. It's going to be here for a moment. So we need to do whatever we need to do in order to stay healthy and whole. And I always believe that if you're not taking care of yourself, you can't take care of anybody else. So you got to make sure that you're eating. You have to make sure that you are staying hydrated. You have to make sure that if you are on medication, that you're taking your medication too. So that means you've got to pause, you have to eat, you have to do all the things necessary to keep you healthy and whole before you can go out and care for someone else. And so now there's like this reality check that this piece is not going away anytime soon. So what do you have to do? What do you have to do in order to sustain your health? And also what do you have to do to build it up if you're having some challenges? For my regular clothes anymore to work. You know, I stopped that a while ago. You know, so I wear scrubs. You know, I put on my mask. You know, I don't, you know, I'm going in the raw every day. I really don't wear any jewelry to work anymore. And I put on my gym shoes. And when I walk back in the door, you know, I take everything off, I bag it up, you know, and I do the same thing every day so that I won't contaminate, you know, my home. And so, you know, we have a ritual, you know, every single day, you know, of, you know, gargling my throat, you know, taking my, my vitamins every day. I take vitamin B, I take vitamin C, D, K, and zinc and magnesium. And then I have some other supplements that I take, you know, as well, because I have to make sure that I'm keeping my immune system strong so that wherever I go, if I'm going into a store, if I'm going into the hospital, or wherever I'm called to go, you know, my immune system is as strong as I possibly can keep it. You know, when we have our huddles, you know, first thing in the morning, and we go through the stats and all the information that we need to in order for a hospital to run. And at the end of every huddle meeting, I try to give a uplifting and encouraging word at the end that will keep the staff motivated. So in some of one of the hospitals that I work in, you know, we've created these, we call the Zen rooms, where people can actually go in and kind of like just relax, chill out for a moment. We have soft music playing, or like the little music noise boxes playing, where they can color, they can have an opportunity to write on the walls. Today I feel, my intentions are, my prayer is, so they can just woosah, relax, do some inhaling and exhaling. You know, we have opportunities. We have a group of yoga therapists who have partnered with us to say, you know, if you need some free, you know, one-on-one yoga, helping you to breathe, they've made themselves available, you know, as well. So many of the restaurants across the country have just begun to pour into it, be able to help. I mean, people have started sowing seeds and dropping off masks and other type of that one may need, not only in the hospitals, but outside of the hospitals.
You know, when your loved one gets sick, especially really sick, the first thing that you do is you go up to the hospital and you sit vigilance right there in that hospital. And you're the one that's the advocate in between the doctors and the nurses and your family members. Not that we don't trust the doctors and the nurses, but, you know, we're helping out. You know, we're there making sure. And look, my mother has put her hand on her hip and made sure she went and got the doctor just at the time that my sister needed her, you know, her intestines had full blown out. And, you know, we say mama saved her life. Like, there's no family members up there advocating because you can't get in the door.
Can't get in the door. Yes.
So you have to have 100% trust in this hospital and this hospital team to take care of your loved ones. And the chaplains to pray, because you can. I went up there and prayed with my mama every day. So, like, how has that made a big difference with family members not being able to be there with their loved ones during this?
You know what? It's a real challenge because, you know, you're grieving not because of the illness, but you're grieving because of the distance, the disconnect. And so, you know, I get several calls throughout the day, you know, asking me which hospital are you in today? You know, can you get in to see my loved one? And so, you know, just the other day, one of our just called me up and she said that her son was hospitalized, and she said, and this is the room that he's in. Is there any way that you can go by and visit with him? I said, absolutely.
Right now, let's imagine, if you will, that you're able to have your voice reach individuals who are at home or in hospitals all over the country, all over the world. What would you say to them?
I guess my prayer would be that the creator of the universe would bless us all indeed, and that we would all be blessed on a united front, spiritually, mentally, emotionally, physically, and financially. And one of the things that I began to do just this past Monday, Kim, is God placed it on my heart to start a Facebook Live grief support group, because there's so many individuals who are going through the grieving process, but we are not able to get to our grief support groups. So just this past Monday, I started a Facebook Live grief support group, and it is called Loss, Grief, Healing, and Hope. And that basically we're just letting people know we're here to help you heal and to offer you some hope. And then I give referrals of different therapists, you know, throughout the country that will benefit them. And so that's my message to the masses, that we're here to support you. I'm here to help you. And I'm praying for the entire country. I'm praying for the entire world. So no matter what you have, if you have a little bit of faith, grab a little bit more. If you got a little bit of hope, grab a little bit more. But making sure that you're taking good care of yourselves and all the people that you love. And I always tell people, if you want to follow me on Instagram, you can, Portia Lockett, you know, and always go to drportialockett.com. And I have 10 tips on how to stay inspired and encouraged. So no matter where you are, you know, in life, you know, everybody needs a little bit of inspiration. Everybody needs some encouragement.
Thank you for giving us a dose of hope and showing us what purpose in action, just unfettered, unapologetically living on purpose and fulfilling your calling, what it looks like. That's what it looks like, Portia. That is what you represent. And it has been an honor to spend this morning with you. It really has. Thank you.
Amen. Likewise. I love you, my sister.
Oh, I love you too.